Hey guys, and welcome to the video that I mentioned that I would be making about being threatened to get fired from my job. Well, it was a very vague post, I guess. Thinking back on making that post, it was right after it was on my first break when I had made that comment, which was 2 hours after the fact. I took the rest of the day to think about it, and I think I could have probably phrased it just a little bit better. I wasn't threatened in a way. It was the suggested tone. Let's put it that way. So when I came in today, I was off yesterday, and the CDC, of course, the CDC changed their policy again of, oh, well, now you got to wear a mask even if you're vaccinated, which, of course, I'm not vaccinated. I'm not that stupid. I'm not going to get the vaccine. I'm not going to get the vaccine because I know better than to get it. But I've been going around maskless despite being unvaccinated because I just couldn't stand wearing a mask anymore. I have asthma, not a very like gonna kill me kind of asthma, but it's a modern, it's a modern uh form of asthma. If I was to run, even like given out of shape, I would probably not fare well, but my asthma would probably not even like it. So wearing a mask, it really does affect my asthma and it makes it really hard to breathe. And so I was just done. I was sick and tired of being threatened. Oh, more masks. So I just told him I'm not wearing a mask anymore. You can say what you want. You can threaten whatever you want. You're not scaring me. I'm not wearing a mask. It's just not going to happen anymore. I'm not doing it. And I said, let me talk to the store manager. I said, he needs to be involved in this. He needs to know. He needs to put his 2 cents in, his two piece. I said, he needs to come here and talk. And I actually didn't even know if he was here there at work today. Um, I was just like, let him come here. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, oh, well, I didn't even know he was here. I just kind of said that. I didn't mean to. I was just on adrenaline, just like mad. And I'm like, you're going to threaten me with a mask telling me you have to do it. CDC says so. It's like, well, they're not the lawmakers. They don't make the law. They can't enforce the law. So I don't have to do what they say. And I'm a healthy individual. So I don't need to wear the mask. You don't put masks on healthy people. You put them on the sick people. I'm not sick. So by all definitions of logic, I'm the one that's in the right. But the store manager comes up and I told him, I said, I will wear a face shield, which is, in case no one really knows what a face shield is, and I'll probably put a picture up. I don't know. I might not. Like I said, this might not even be edited. But a face shield is a piece of thin plastic, a thin clear plastic with either, there's different varieties. You can have one that is foam that goes against your head, that goes across your forehead, and then it has like a elastic strap that goes around and it just kind of holds it tight against your head and then it just protects you and protects everyone, I guess, in front of you somehow by magic, of course. And you have ones that are like a hat or ones that connect to glasses, all these different varieties. A lot of different ones, different styles. I've seen one that was like one of those weird like poker hats that has the brim and then the thing that goes around and it had a clip that the plastic would clip to and then hold down. I thought that was actually a really cool one, but I've not been able to find one. Hey there, little bugs. Um, you can see kind of like little bugs flying around up there. What one? Um, got a lot of gnats in the room. Sorry. And so, anyways, I like bring the store manager over. Let's just talk to him. He needs to be here. I just want to wear a face shield. I really don't want to wear a face mask. I can't do this anymore. And with Walmart, because everyone knows here I work at Walmart. Like I've made several videos. I think everyone should know by now I work at Walmart. Um, the to wear a face shield instead of a face mask, you have to have what is known as an ADA form, which is Americans with Disability Act form. In case you didn't know what ADA was. I'm not sure if it's something with every state or if it's just some kind of federal law. I actually have not looked it up yet. But what it is by getting this form from my doctor, it is basically saying I have a condition or a disability that will make whatever it is that I am against, it will exempt me from it. So say like if wearing a mask. I get an ADA form. Why don't I have to wear a mask? Because ADA form says that my disability or my condition, whatever it is, says or prevents me from being able to use it because it will actually have a negative impact on my health. And I would say that my asthma is probably a definite good reason as to why, because you don't put people at risk for something stupid like a piece of plastic or a piece of recycled fibers that's so loosely woven that it does nothing to protect you in the first place or the people that are in front of you that you're talking to. All it does is act as a muffle. Like, I can get in front of this thing. Oh, that probably just blew up the mic. I'm sorry. But like, I can just have like this really thin mesh and they'll say, oh yeah, that's an acceptable mask, even though this is not even rated for that. Like, you can even kind of, see through it, even through the camera. Anyway, so he comes up and he asks, why is this such a big deal? I said, because you don't understand what I went through. And I want to address some comments right quick. I have my phone. I have a couple comments. There's two commenters. One is called Friendship. He says, dude, just wear the face mask. Or, no, sorry, my bad. He says, dude, just wear a face mask. Okay, Friendship. I should just wear the face mask. You're right. I should just lay down and die because the company tells me to. I should just be the mindless, no self-thinking sheep and just lay down and die because that's what the company told me to do. I should just give up my life because they said so. And who am I to question superiority? It is not even just that simple. And I replied, I said, just wait for my video, friend. I will explain. Well, Friendship, I am here to explain now. And Katherine Knapp, good to see you again. Hope you're doing well. You wrote, gee, I wonder why they're mad at you. I kind of wonder why too, because it's not like what I was asking was of a high demand, you know, a face shield. I'm asking for just a variation of what it is they were even wanting. I wasn't saying I'm not going to wear any form of the protection, just I don't want the mask. And they were not getting that. I said, give me the face shield. And they're like, no, you gotta wear a mask. I was like, give me the face shield. I want the face shield. I will wear that, but I'm not wearing a mask. And they're like, no, you have to wear a mask. It's required. CDC says so. And I'm like, I don't give two craps what the CDC says so. Give me the face shield. I'll wear that. The ADA form or not, I don't care. I will wear that, but I will not wear a mask. And I'm going to finally get on to what the manager says. He asked me why this is a big problem. And what ended up happening, and I explained to him, and I'll explain to you, Friendship, why this is such a big contention. And I keep looking at the screen, not the camera. I'm sorry. I'm very bad about doing that. What happened is about a year ago, about, I want to say August or maybe, no, yeah, it was about August or July of last year. We were wearing our masks and I had mine and I was running a bunch of tests. At the time, I was wearing an oximeter or an oximeter, whatever, the thing that goes on your finger and it tests your blood oxygen level and your heart rate. And I've been, for about a week at that point, doing a test every hour, on the hour, testing my blood rate or my blood oxygen level. And I would annotate it with mask on or mask off, such as if I was on lunch or break, I would take it off. So I would specify, hey, my mask was off at this point when this reading was taken. And I found that with a mask, my oxygen level dropped from about 98 to 90, from 98, 99, which was the average without a mask. It's supposed to be 100 usually, but with asthma and being fat, of course, you're going to have a little less. And it was about 98, 99. It would drop down to about 80-ish, like 85-ish and stuff like that, which is really bad. And you can actually look it up and find out that having that kind of low oxygen when you're fat or if you have health conditions is very dangerous. And they say that if you drop down to about 70, you are in some serious trouble because you're going to start having and they list like all these complications that you could be having. Well, I was about a week in. I was going to do 2 weeks worth of testing. And this day kind of stopped all that. That was my end of my tests. Because it was a really busy day. I don't remember why, but it was just really, really busy. People had full carts. Most of my transactions were over $200 that day, and I had a long line. Okay, now my store had 14 registers. At that time, we were running about 4 or 5 of them because it was late night. We were actually 2 hours away from closing. And I finally got my line down. I had been fighting and fighting and fighting to get my line down. And I finally got it down. But I was shaking. I couldn't like control my arms. Like I was shaking. I had like spasms all over my chest, my like entire chest, like even into my neck, and like down almost into my stomach was hurting. It felt like someone had been like poking me with a hot poker, like someone was also beating me. It hurt through my chest and into my back. I was in excruciating pain. And then not only that, but I don't really know how to explain it, but I would say the best kind of explanation is like tunnel vision. Like a lot of times when I've ever seen or heard people try to describe tunnel vision, it's like not like you see like a dark circle and it's like closing in, but like your focus is hypertension, like just you're hyper focused on something. That was my focus, was the scanner, which we have two scanners. One is the face and one's the bottom plate, and I was focused on those plates or on those scanning faces, and I was dropping things. I've dropped a whole bunch of glass that night. And when I finally got all my customers out, I just reached up, I just slammed my light down, ripped my mask. I actually broke my mask off because I just ripped it right off, and I just collapsed down onto my register. It was such an experience, or not such an experience, but such a bad reaction that my managers that were behind me actually ran up and are like, "Are you okay? What's the matter?" I told them that I couldn't breathe, I was hurting, and I just needed a minute. And they actually made me take another break because of that. And then I just didn't wear my mask the rest of the night after that because I could not do that again. Because first of all, I ripped off my mask and it broke and we didn't actually have any more, so they couldn't give me one. But I just took it easy the rest of the night and we got all our customers out and I just did a little cleanup work and I went home. That is why I don't want to wear a mask, because I don't want to relive that pain. It is not something I can explain and make you understand. All you can really know is that I had no control over how steady my arm was. Like, I was shaking my whole arm just trying to grab items, and it was a constant thought. Like, I had to tell myself to reach over and just grab the dang thing. And whatever it was, I would just grab it. I'd, like, really quickly just move it across and scan it, and then try to switch hands. I'd drop it, I'd fumble it, I'd just shaking all over. I looked like I was essentially having a mild seizure or like a light seizure. That's just how bad I was shaking. And I don't know if my head or if my whole body was shaking, but I know my arms were, because I kept commenting to myself in my head, just like, I need to stop shaking. This is not good. And it was only about a few minutes right before I collapsed that I realized that I was actually in pain. And then, but then that was like when I saw like 2 customers left in my line. And I was just like, please, Lord, just let me get through this. Just let me get done. And when they were finally done, I just slammed it down, ripped it off, and just fell over. And it took me about 2 minutes, almost 3 minutes, of just laying there, gasping for air. And I remembered my oximeter, whatever that thing's called. I stuck it on my finger, and it was coming up, but it was at about 60. Now, think of where my oxygen would have been if I had not wasted that time, because all that time when I was getting air, it was letting my oxygen come up. Where was it about 2-3 minutes before when it happened? How low was my oxygen? That is the point I'm trying to get across to people when I say don't wear a mask if you're healthy, because if you're healthy, you're just punishing yourself. And you don't need it. If you're a healthy person and if you get COVID, there's a 99.99% chance you're going to live. That is so insane that people would think that that is such a deadly virus that I really don't know how people can justify this. And I'm a healthy person. I very rarely get sick. The last time I can get sick, actually, or not last time I can get sick, last time I got sick was actually just a few weeks ago, actually. I took 1 day off because my throat was sore. I said, look, I get earaches when I get strep throat. I know what this is. I'm going to take one day, take a bunch of medicine for it. I'll be back tomorrow. You want to know what happened? I took a bunch of medicine, got some sleep, came back tomorrow. I was feeling better, so much better. And because it was strep throat, it went away super quick because I knew what it was. I always get this about every few years, and it usually lasts one day. I don't ever go to the doctor. The last time I had to go to the doctor for a legitimate reason was back in 2007. That was when I was 11 years old. That was the last time I'd actually gone to the hospital for anything major or legitimate. And if you want to count like eye doctors or anything like that, like I guess kind of like a specialist or a specific kind of person, I had to go January of this year because when I was wearing the masks, it was blowing air into my eyes. I hit the mic again. It was blowing air into my eyes, and both my eyes were beet red, like cherry red. And when I went to the doctor, they tested for cultures or some kind of things, like no diseases, no nothing. But they noticed that my eyes were very, very dry. And they said, "How often do you wear your mask?" I said, "Every day for work." And they said, "How long do you wear it?" I said, "About 2-hour intervals. I get a 15-minute break, an hour lunch, and another 15-minute break after." And they're like, "You're wearing your mask too much." I said, "That's requirement. That's just a store policy." And they're like, "You're wearing your mask too much. You're going to sit there and dry your eyes out. You're going to cause irreparable damage if you keep wearing your mask like that. You need to find a way to sit there and get the air out, going down, not up, but down." So I started modifying my mask. I got it, and I had to use drops. Note, just a quick note, my store did not actually pay for that medication, even though it was their fault for making us wear the masks. But that's it. That's the whole thing. That's the reason I don't want to wear masks. And again, I cannot make you understand the pain. All you can know is just it felt what I would assume maybe like a heart attack would be. I've never had one. I hope to God never to have one. Although as fat as I am, I'm probably going to at some point, probably soon, which is why I should probably do something about that. But enough fat shaming myself. I've never had one, but I assume this is what it was like because it also felt like just someone just like ripping my rib cage into me. It was painful, and there's no possible way that I can express enough how much this hurt. I have a good pain tolerance, and this was enough to almost make me tear up. Not a lot can do that. I've literally cut almost my finger off, and I just look at it going, well, God dang it. That's a good pain tolerance. So if something like this is almost having me down on my knees, it's bad. It's really bad. And now you know why I made that post. And it wasn't that he threatened to fire me. He said if we cannot get to basically, like if we cannot come to an agreement, we'll have to part ways. Basically, he's saying if you don't agree to what my terms are, I'm going to have to fire you because I cannot keep you hired if you don't submit. Well, the problem is I'm not submitting. I didn't even want a face mask. I wanted the face shield. I don't even understand why you need an ADA form because when this whole thing started, Walmart said that it can be either a face mask or a face shield. It's a matter of preference. Then when everything actually got enforced and you had no choice but to do it, they said, "Oh, well, yeah, the face shield, no, that's an ADA form. You have to have one." It's like, then why did you advertise it to the associates as it's a matter of preference? I definitely prefer the face shield because it does not actually, I guess it's not like as claustrophobic as a mask is. I guess I would say. Like, I feel like there's definitely room to breathe and it's far more comfortable. I am so sick and tired of face masks with the little fuzzies, like, because it goes up and down your nose as you talk and as you move. It goes up and down and like little fuzzes get in your nose and stuff like that. It's just agitating. Masks are worthless. They're stupid. They're pointless. And I even still have this one here. I can't get it without knocking everything over. And yeah, I have my Walmart branded one. Which wouldn't actually be doing that, but it's thicker, so I would guaranteed be having the problem that I said I don't want to have. I would much rather have a face shield But I do not appreciate that my store is now telling me, hey, you're on a time limit to get this ADA form. And he told me, he said, I'll let you wear this for a few days because it's the weekend. I can guarantee that you're not going to get in to see a doctor now or tomorrow or the day after because you're probably not even going to get in on Monday. He goes, but I'm giving you until Tuesday to get an appointment. He says, and if you come in on Tuesday saying, hey, you have one on this following Friday, so Wednesday and then Friday, he says, I will definitely extend that out for you. So he was very understanding. He was very nice about it. He was willing to compromise. The only thing I wish that he had done is to sit there and say, screw the ADA form. If this is something that you have been in legitimate pain through our company because of our requirement, then we're gonna just bypass the ADA form and let you have it because you very clearly have been hurt in some capacity by the face masks. So that's clearly not an option. If I was a store manager, I would have done that. I would have said to any of my associates that you do not need an ADA form. I am going to overlook it, that you don't have to have that. Because if you prefer it, my job as a store manager is to make sure that my associates are happy and comfortable. And that's what he should have done. So he failed as a store manager, but he also didn't because he was able to de-escalate the situation because I was ready to just say, you know what, I quit. I'm not going to do this with you people. If you want to be communist supporting traitors to the country, then fine. Sit there and enjoy your masks while you're all sitting there kneeling in your little graves. I'll be the one breathing a breath of fresh air. But that's not what happened. He sat there and said, okay, let's find a solution to this. And he was willing to listen to why I didn't want to. And he was even willing to say, I will extend the time if you can do it. Now, the good thing is I do have an appointment for Tuesday to go get an ADA form. And I'm just going to tell them the exact same thing. I had this difficulty, ripped off my mask, turned off my light, bleh. That's what's going to happen. And I can assure you that my doctor is going to give me the ADA form. What I can't guarantee, and this is the bad thing, I don't really know a bunch about this. This is something that I am actually very unaware of or uneducated in. But different companies have a different, not insurance company, but it's like one that deals with medical conditions. Walmart has a company named Sedgwick. T-Mobile has one called Broadspire, and there's other companies that do this. This is not just these two companies, but Walmart has this company called Sedgwick that we have to go through for these forms. There were people that had COPD that were getting declined face shields. Literally, Sedgwick was saying, no, you don't have a legitimate case here. You can still wear a face mask. For people with COPD, people with literal, like, lung degenerating problems, they were being told, oh no, you're still healthy enough. So I'm not actually confident in my ability to get the face shield with Sedgwick if they are literally declining some of the most concerning medical conditions for lungs. Like, my asthma has no chance against them if COPD doesn't, or what's it called, like I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it, like osteoporosis or something like that. But and this is actually dragging on. This is 23 minutes now, and it really shouldn't have even been this long. But just know that is what the post was. I was not necessarily threatened, but it was definitely the intended message of, if you do not submit, you will be terminated from your position, which that is a very poor response to someone who has an actual legitimate grievance. You do not threaten to fire an associate because they have a legitimate concern. That is a very bad response. That is a very bad thing a manager can do, and it is very unprofessional. The best thing they can do is say, we will try to do our best to work around it, because especially when the associate, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back here or anything like that, but this is just factual. I have never given them any grief on anything. I have a lot of coworkers that say, I don't want to work here because I don't like that today. I'm not in the mood. And I see that as very bad work ethic. to say, I don't want to work here because I'm just not in the mood for it. I don't want to be on a cashier. I don't want to be a cashier today. I just want to go self checkouts because I'm in a bad mood. I don't want to speak to people. That's bad work ethics. You're not being paid to have an opinion of where you should be working. You're being paid to go where they tell you to. And I don't do that. If they say go to register one, I go to register one. If they say, hey, go to self checks, I go to the self checks, whichever one they say to go to. If they say, hey, go to the service desk, I'll go to the service desk and I'll do whatever it is at service desk they want me to do. If they say, hey, we want you to focus on doing lottery, which they don't ever say, but if they were to say that, I would go focus on the lottery. If they say, hey, go do some returns, I'll do the returns. I do not have a preference. And no matter my mood, I have a lot of days where I'm mad or I'm just like upset. I don't let that affect my work. I do not sit there and let my attitude affect my work. And this is where I'm going to actually kind of give a bit of a shout out to Sid Alpha. I'm not sure if anyone in my channel actually knows Sid Alpha, but I'm going to give Sid Alpha a throw here. Not that he needs one, but I'm going to do it anyways. He has taught me that it is all about the customers, that our jobs as people who work in customer service or in ways like that, it's about the customers, and we should be doing our best to provide best customer service. And that is something I really take to heart, is that I am very proud of how hard I work for my customers. And I think this one time that I just have a request and an actual grievance, I think they should at least, at the very, very least, just hear me out and at least not threaten my job, but just say, hey, we can't really do that. Can you understand why? But that's not what they do. They go, well, if you don't do what we want, then we'll just have to let you go and we'll just have to go separate ways. That's unprofessional, very unprofessional. And I get it that they have no choice because this is a corporate office thing. But at what point do you say we're not going to interfere with the lives of our associates anymore and we're just going to let things play out? Because that's the way you beat COVID, is you don't sit there and try to hide from it. You just live your life, and if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. And at some point, it'll just roll along. That is the best way to fight it. This vaccine is untested, unverified. It skipped animal trials. It's pretty much only in human trials right now. Its effects will not be fully known for 2 to 3 years. So people are dying from this thing. And what's worse is that not only do we not know the effects, not only are people dying, but the people who gave it to you are not liable. So they just murdered somebody and they got away with it. How is that even fair? And now Walmart's doing the thing because the CDC says so, is vaccinated or not, you have to wear a mask. They are also now getting ready to make it where not seniors, salaried members of management have to be vaccinated. That is a huge violation of our rights. And I'm not a manager, of course, but that's a huge violation of people's rights to sit there and say, if you want to work, you have to have this vaccine. There is not a job in the world that has the right to do that. That is illegal and unethical on every scale. Delta Airlines was doing that to their people, and they had every right to sit there and strike if they wanted to. They could have taken down all the planes, made them land, and they could have gone on strike and cost the company billions and trillions of dollars if they wanted to, and they'd had every right to do so. And that is kind of where I stood, is I was tired of being put down, tired of being oppressed, and tired of feeling sick. And that's actually another thing I didn't even mention, is wearing the mask made me feel sick. Like, I was lethargic, I was tired all the time, which is lethargic. I felt sickly a lot, like, constant congestion, constant runny nose also. I felt sick all the time. I felt not worthless, but like worthless is like energetic wise. Like, if you wanted me to do a whole bunch that day, I didn't really feel like I could do it because I was just, oh my God, you're asking a whole lot of me today. That was the kind of feeling. And when I took off my mask and I just started lying, saying, yeah, I'm vaccinated, I got the vaccine. Actually, I never told them I was vaccinated. They had the thing on there sitting there saying, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear the mask. So I just stopped wearing it and they never asked me. So I just never answered. I just took off my mask and I felt great. I felt perfectly fine. And they never even caught on to that. They did ask once, or like, hey, you're vaccinated. I said, well, it depends who's asking. And I deflected it just like that. And they're just like, oh, yeah, you're being funny. And then they just left. But no, I'm not vaccinated. And I went months without wearing my mask and not being vaccinated. And guess what? I only got sick once. It was strep throat, not COVID. So I didn't even really get sick legitimately. And no one else got sick. So what point is the mask? It's worthless. And all it does is hurt me. It hurts the people who wear them. In 2008, Fauci sat there and made a paper with his little goons, and they all agreed that with H1N1, people who were wearing masks were dying, not because they were getting H1N1, they were getting pneumonia from wearing their masks. So he said people who were wearing masks were dying because the masks gave you pneumonia, especially in the humid, or not the humid, but in the, oh yeah, in the humid weather. Like when it was like really humid out, or even in the wintertime, people who were wearing masks were giving themselves pneumonia and dying from that. So they are literally worse to wear them than to not wear them. And that's why I didn't want to wear it, because I'm tired of putting my life at risk every day. I'm tired of being in pain. I'm tired of being lethargic. I'm tired of being without energy. And all I wanted was a face shield. And the good thing is, I think I'm going to get it. I think I'm going to get it because my doctor knows me very well. And I think she's going to sit there and say, okay, yeah, we'll just put on here that you have asthma. It affects you. And it puts you in a negative way. And the mask is going to get in the way of that. It might trigger your asthma. And I've actually not had an inhaler for years. I've actually lost it. And I just was too stupid to ever go get another one. And I'm going to pay for that one day. And trust me, I will let you know if that ever happens. I'll be like, hey, I almost died today because I didn't have my inhaler. I need to go get one. But she knows me very well, and I think she's going to take my side on it, and she's going to put on there, hey, you know, you have asthma, and it's not good for you. It's Sedgwick that scares me. But anyways, I've been dragging this out a lot, and this is a lot longer than it even needed to be. This only needed to be like 10 minutes long, and this is already 32 minutes long. And I'm, like I said, I'm not even going to edit this very much. I think I'm actually just going to upload it straight up. So I apologize if I seemed distracted a lot. I apologize if I wasn't looking at the camera a lot. But I do want to say, before I go, I have to pull it back up. I do want to say thank you to Friendship for commenting. Even though you were against me and telling me just to submit, I do appreciate you for taking the time to comment. Thank you very much. I did want to make sure I addressed you properly, so I am sorry if it seems like I was being rude. It was not my intention to be rude. And Katherine Knapp, always good to see you. Thank you for stopping by if you were watching. You guys all have a great day.